Hello everyone, and welcome to this installment of Birding by Ear. In today's video clip, we have 3 different species that are vocalizing, 2 of which are singing and 1 of which is calling. We're going to talk first about the golden-crowned kinglet, whose song we hear in this video clip. Now, what you're going to want to listen for is a series of rising CCC notes. They're very thin and high-pitched and kind of tumble into this squeaky-sounding, chickadee-like chatter. Now, the call of this species, which is not heard in this video, is a very thin, high-pitched, kind of CCC sort of sound that kind of lacks that uprising quality that is heard in the introductory notes of the song. Now, this species here can be very difficult to see. Quite often, they're much easier to hear than to see. They love evergreen forests, particularly in the Sierra, particularly those with a high concentration of fir, and they tend to sing and call and forage from pretty high up, and they're very small and they tend to move around really fast. So getting a good look at one is definitely more challenging. They are far easier to detect by sound than by sight. But if you do see one, it's definitely a treat. They are very small, very cute. They have kind of a grayish green body. They have a bold wide eyebrow, a black stripe going through the eye. Both sexes have what I would describe as a golden crown in the male. It is yellow with orange in the center. In the female, it is just a bright yellow. In both sexes, the crown is bordered on either side by black stripes. Golden crowned kinglet is an insectivore that typically travels in groups of 3 to 8 individuals. The second bird that we're going to talk about is the Hermit Warbler, who is also singing in this video clip. Now, what you're going to want to pay attention for in their song is kind of this rapid, buzzy series of notes that ends rather abruptly on kind of a less burry note. Now, bear in mind that the song that you hear from the Hermit Warbler in this video is not always what you're going to hear out in the field. Their song is highly variable. However, I have noticed that they usually follow this general pattern when singing. Now, like the golden-crowned kinglet, the Hermit Warbler is also much easier to detect by sound than by sight. They are very difficult to see. They inhabit a lot of the same habitat that golden-crowned kinglets do, and they tend to sing from fairly high up in evergreen trees. Now, if you do catch sight of one of these, count yourself lucky, not only because they're fairly difficult to see, but also because they are very beautiful. The males have these bright yellow faces, black throats, black nape, grayer backside, and a white abdomen. The females aren't quite as flashy of the males. They're essentially, a duller version, but they are still very pretty. The third and final species that we're going to talk about in today's video is going to be the spotted towhee, which is calling rather than singing. Now listen right around the 11-second mark and the 20-second mark for this raspy, non-musical meh sort of sound. Now bear with me because I'm a lot better at identifying these sounds than I am at mimicking them. I will say this call is somewhat reminiscent of a distressed kitten, but I promise you that is not what it is. Now the spotted towhee is a large sparrow species that, unlike the golden-crowned kinglet and hermit warbler, much prefers brambly, brushy habitats much closer to the ground. Now, the spotted towhee can be a little shy and elusive at times. However, it is much easier to see than either the golden crowned kinglet or hermit warbler. Now, what you want to look for in this species is going to be the black head, black backside, black long tail, white spotting in the wings, as well as in the corners of the tail, and that's much more obvious as it flies. Look for rufous in the flanks and white in the center of the abdomen. Now, I will say that females tend to be paler than males. Another thing to look for in this species is their foraging technique, which involves hopping and scratching noisily through leaf litter in search of seeds and insects. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments, any suggestions, or any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below or to reach out to me personally at tanagergirl@gmail.com.